reply, Jane Maienschein and Manninen write that we've had the good fortune to have the opportunity to sit down and talk about the issues involved surrounding human embryonic stem cell research. They say, we wish this could happen more often in our often divided and divisive world today. In fact, we largely agree on what is at issue and even on what ought to be done. So this is a unique sort of joint reply, to be sure. They say, among other things, we have all benefited from research on embryonic and fetal tissue, and unless we are willing to eschew the vaccines that come from the research on tissues from aborted fetuses, then they say it would be inconsistent at best and hypocritical at worst to deny those afflicted with spinal cord injuries, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and diabetes the chance to be cured of their ailments, as we have been largely cured of those above mentioned. I'll say something about that in my reply to them in a moment. Lastly, I want to point out a couple things from the next paragraph and the one after it. They say the onus is on those who oppose the use of these extra embryos, how incinerating embryos or flushing them down a drain does a better service to humanity than allowing the deaths of these embryos to contribute positively to the world. They say, if embryo destruction is deemed acceptable for producing infants for the infertile, it should be deemed acceptable for producing therapy for the sick. They say it is very likely, given the history of biology, that the lessons learned from effective research will lead to therapies that are not what we predict now and that rely on new approaches.